Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, and I'm going to show you here. This is not the only way to model a head. Some people start from a sphere, and some people start by feature. So let me just import a picture of an eye here that I saved from the internet. Okay, so you can also start from feature. I just find this method a little harder because you have to connect them together. So you start with the nose, with the eye, with the ear, then connect them to the rest of the head. And the connection is what kind of I don't like too much. I like having the overall shape, but it's up to you how you approach it. So if you grab the eye, for example, and go to create polygon, now I can draw a polygon in here around the eye. It's gonna be flat. You have to do it also from the front view because it won't work on the perspective view. So let's say that's the shape of my eye. So I'm gonna hit enter now. If I go back to perspective, I have the picture here. So let me just move it back. There's the eye. Oh, it's just backwards. So mesh display reverse. So if I have this shape now, I can grab the edge, like double click on it to select it and extrude it. You know, maybe I should turn off symmetry. Yeah, and then, you know, pull it out, and you have basically the same thing. You know, you have extrude again. Oh, whoops. You want to go the other way, like this. Maybe hit W to move it. And then scale it. I basically have the same thing done with it with the eye here. So this loop. I'm just cutting it as I go. But the thing is, you would have to model the eye, then the nose, then the mouth, and then connect them all to a head. It could be a sphere. So this is not the only way to model it. I prefer doing it this way, so I have the whole shape at once, and I know everything's connected, and the geometry is there. You know, I can, if I need more topology, I can add it. Oh, let me turn on symmetry. Also, there's a couple things that you can change here, the topology, as long as it flows muscles. Like, I don't like how this turned out the neck, so I kind of did this thing here haphazardly. I just put this loop here. So I was thinking, okay, how can I connect it, because I know this muscle connects here and it goes back behind the ear. So I don't have to take this, I don't have to accept the geometry my teacher gave me, right, which is me. It's kind of silly to say, but you could you know, just easily change it to your liking. You say, I'm gonna just make my turn here, and you know, kind of leave space for the Adam's apple. Maybe connect, because I think this is an end-on. No, it's not. Well, let's see. But again, we can just go from here, and I guess I left a point there. We'll worry about it in a little bit. So I know this muscle connects behind the ear, so I could draw my own topology here. By now you should be advanced enough, you know how to do it. So let's say it's gonna connect right here, that corner, and then from here we're gonna go down, right, and draw the muscle how we want it to be. Something like that. And then we had to try to make everything quads, right? So I don't have quads right now. I have a bunch of angles, I have a bunch of triangles. You know, I can probably delete this edge right there. See if I hit Control Delete. You know, I kind of have this thing going. Let's see, four-sided, 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 four-sided. This is four-sided too. You know, you can adjust these things. Let's say this is more than 4 sides. So how would you fix it? This is a triangle, so I can go across, cut it here. Will that fix it? No, because yeah, now I have another problem here. I still have an end gun here. So you can draw your own geometry. You don't have to take this how I've made it. You can improve on it. But just remember, we're going to be sculpting on it, so I don't want you to waste too much time on this. Same with the back. I realize it doesn't look that great how we made it. You could cut, you know, we have this that could be considered a traps, but there's the muscle that goes on a it's like a triangle that goes like this. You know, I kind of made the shoulder blades pretty square, so you could do this kind of thing here. You know, you could draw your own geometry and, you know, shape it as afterwards. So what I'm giving you is just the very basic topology you need. What we need to do is make sure we don't have n-gons after we're done with it, because that causes problems on modeling. It shows up as a hole when you're trying to sculpt. Like this, for example, where I ended the clavicle, I don't like it. I wish I would have ended it over here, actually, on this face. So I could just redraw it here. I'm gonna have it end here, go all the way to here, you know, because you can kind of see a bump on the shoulder, and it's right on the middle of the shoulder, actually, kind of towards the front, right here. And then I'll get rid of this one. Let's see, which one do I need to get rid of? I think that. Oh no, wrong one. It was this here, this here. I need to get rid of this, and probably cut across right here. Right, so now it ends where I want it to end, and it might look a little better. So you don't have to be stuck with what I give you. You know, it's just basic geometry that you need to have in there for things to work, but you can redraw it to orient it the way you prefer. Because I'm not saying my way is the perfect way, because it isn't. There's many ways to see it. You'll see many ways to do the topology for the hands, for the face. Oh, and by the way, the hands are about from the jawline to about the forehead. So if your hand looks too small, just compare it to that. Remember, we did it 1 square per head unit. You know, the grid, we made it to be 1 head tall, so we can compare it. You can look at it from the top and see if it's about 3/4 of a unit. So if it looks small, you can make it bigger. You know, you select it. You can hit D to get the pivot point of the selection, move it to where you want it, then hit D again, and now your pivot point for the selection only is at the bottom there, so you can scale it from there. Okay, so once you have done this, you're pretty much done modeling, except for the feet. We just need the feet in here. So I'm gonna grab this face at the bottom and pull it out to where the feet should be. So looking at the side view here, I'm gonna go all the way down to the feet. And for our case here, we're gonna make the feet fairly simple. I'm going to grab 3 faces here. We could grab more, I guess, but we're just gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna grab 3 faces, extrude forward, scale, move it down to the floor, extrude, hit switch to the move tool so it goes straight forward, move out, scale down, move down to the ground. Let me see how far I need to be flatter. And one more time, this will be our toes. And we're gonna keep it this simple for now, okay? So unless you want to take the time to model the toes, you know, more power to you. They'll be pretty much like the hands. We do have n-gons here that we can fix, so we could go, we want 4-sided polygons, so we can go like this across once and out like this. And that's it for the model, right? That's the basic mesh. You can mirror here because I didn't put the hand on the other side. just pay attention when you mirror that you don't create triangles and get rid of this mesh on the legs that you took so long to make, right? So you might have to cut on the middle here so it doesn't delete the whole polygon. So we had to cut here to here and then select half of it. It's easier on the front view. Like this. Whoops, I have to turn off symmetry. And just make sure when you're selecting, so go on the perspective view, make sure you have no polygon selected by mistake, especially down here on the middle. So hit 3. See, I'm missing one polygon right there. And between the legs, you know, those polygons are really close together. On the neck also. And just delete. Select your object, and I don't know where my shortcuts went. So, mirror. There it is. So before you complete the mirror, before you hit Q, look down here, make sure nothing is turned into a triangle. You'll see something like this in merge threshold. You'll see a bunch of triangles. I don't know why it's not doing it, but I guess it did collapse some of those. So you want to pay attention that it doesn't collapse everything on you while you're merging, because you'll get a bunch of triangles. It'll ruin all your work. So pay close attention when you mirror.